Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I know it's been a very long time since you've seen the both of us.
You said that in the last video.
Oh, did I?
Well. Anyways, guys, welcome back. So we have been getting a lot of requests as it pertains to parenting, and what are some of the things that we're doing with our little one Jaya, who's currently running around, and she'll be here shortly. Hey baby. So what we wanted to do was put together a really short video for you guys, just to tell you some of the things that we did from very young, from birth, even before birth. So I'll go ahead and kick it off. My name again is Ronaldo Walters, and this is my wife Jasmine, and we have a 20-month-old baby.
She'll be 2 in September.
She will be 2 in September. So just to get things started, what we did was, let me give you a little bit of background about both of us. Jasmine is a single child, an only child. Only child. I have a little brother and we are about 10 and a half years apart. And I was able to experience some of the parenting that my parents did with him. And, so when it came to diaper changes and stuff like that, I was already familiar with that stuff. Jazzy being a female, she naturally got into it. So she did a lot of her research on on how to parent, or whatever motherhood is like, prior to getting Jaya. I encouraged her to let things happen naturally, and we kind of let both of those merge, and our techniques,
those ideas and techniques come together.
So we did a lot of talking prior to Jaya, while Jazzy was pregnant, on some of the things we wanted to do, some of the things we wanted to make sure that we don't do, etc., etc. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started now. So when Jaya was born, obviously there is a period where the baby has to spend a lot of time with the mom,
especially if you're breastfeeding.
Especially if you're breastfeeding, during the day, at night, etc. And one of the major things that we did from the onset was making sure that we spoke to Jaya like she was an adult. That's one of the most common ones. That's one of the more common ones that most people are kind of adapting to right now, as opposed to talking like a baby, or talking to the baby,
in baby terms.
In baby terms.
It is easy to forget that they one day are going to be humans and adults just like us, because they're so cute, and so you just want to be like, oh,
you want to be cute. Yeah, you want to be cute with them.
But it doesn't help them develop their language.
Right.
So I think one of the realest things someone told us, I don't know if Jay was just born, or I was about to have her, but they were just saying, one day they're gonna grow up to be just like you and me. So, you can't let them get away with certain things always, and you have to talk to them like they're going to be part of the society one day, because they will. So I think that is the biggest thing that Ronaldo and I did straight out the womb.
Yep.
Even though she couldn't really understand at the time, but
even in the womb,
she does.
we were reading to her and stuff like that. And what we're thinking, what we're guessing, because she absolutely loves books. We used to read to her while she was in Jazzy's belly, and now she absolutely loves books. She would bring me a book, and then mommy has to read it right after, the same exact book, or
have to read it
she'll
twice.
bring mommy the book, and then daddy has to read it right after. So those are some of the things that we did early on in the beginning stages, which logically, in my opinion, I think has helped the development of her speech and stuff like that at a very early age. And
there's tons of research out there that supports that as well, which was something that I came across all the time. So I would just, any books that came in the mail from her registry, I would start to read to her, or just even reading certain things I'm reading out loud, and he would directly speak to her in the womb, not baby talk, talking to her like she's already here, that she's already a child that can comprehend. So I definitely think that the research out there supports that, and that's evidence of it. Yeah,
and then also another thing too is to make sure that the chemistry between mom and dad is good while the baby's in the womb, after the baby comes out. So that's another I mean, all situations are different, and we understand that. However, we're just saying that's one of the things that kind of helped Jaya to develop quickly and stuff like that, be happy and kind of outgoing the way she is. So that's kind of the foundation of Jaya and her being how she is. The next thing that we did, she was 6 weeks old, and she used to sleep in our room, in a, what is this thing called?
Bassinet.
Bassinet, in the bassinet. And you know, that was all fun and games, and she would have to wake up and be breastfed every 2 hours.
Yeah.
And stuff
every
like
hour
that.
and a half, 2 hours at first.
Right, at first. She, you know, that's needed, that's required. But what we did at 6 weeks was we completely moved her out of our room. Like, we completely moved her out of our room, and the sacrifice that we made was having to get up and, you know, go breastfeed her and whatever the case may be. We got that technique from our very good friends Kim and Dan Zito. Thanks a lot to you guys. And yeah, I'm sure they can hear the helicopter. It's a helicopter, guys. Sorry, excuses. But so they told us about this technique that they use with their first son, Joshua, who's our godson, and they put him down to sleep by himself, and they just let him cry. And what we did was, obviously that's a big step for all parents, right? When a baby cries, it's difficult for you to leave a child. It's not easy. However, the positives and the advantages of doing that early is
it teaches them independence.
Yeah.
They know that they can do it. Nothing is going to happen to them. I mean, it's a struggle on both ends at first, like trying to get over that hump. But like for me, I was exhausted with her in the room because
we just gonna let this helicopter pass. I don't know, they're like they're flying circles around the house or something. It might be one. Thank you.
Okay, so what were we saying? Oh yeah, so it's difficult, but being a new parent, Jaya made like lots of little noises, and it made me like jump up all the time, so I was just not getting any rest. So another book, I used a book called Moms on Call, along with the advice of Kim and Danzito, just, you know, go ahead and put them in their room. If you have a monitor, they also even make that owlet thing that you can put on the baby's foot. We didn't have that, so that you can check on it. You can hear the noises, and if you need to go and check on your child, you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think that does take time to get used to, but it really helped us. Like, I talk to some parents now who Jaya is close in age with, and they're still sleeping in the room with their parents.
Yeah, and one thing too is there was kind of a cutoff age where the pediatrician kind of informed us that she's going to be okay to not have to feed her every 2 hours, right? So it's between 6 weeks and I forgot what that age.
I don't think it's 6 weeks, but
no, I'm saying we put her in a room by herself at 6 weeks, and then from 6 weeks to I forget what the age is. Just confirm with your pediatrician. We didn't have to wake up and feed her every 2 hours.
Right. Yeah.
And the pediatrician let us know that she's
okay.
gonna wake up, she's gonna cry, but she's okay. You know, she's not crying necessarily because she's hungry, but more so because she's used to, you know, either having people around or something like that. So confirm that with your pediatrician when the baby can stop feeding every 2 hours at night.
Right. And that helps with longer stretches of sleep.
Yeah, and once your baby gets into that routine, fast forward to 6 months old, your baby is now sleeping through the night, and you as a parent, you're able to get your rest, and you know, it teaches the baby kind of like what Jazzy said, a sense of I can, you know, I can do, it's okay, I can do this by myself, I can get this done. So it kind of creates that type of mindset in the baby from a very, very young age, and they become very independent. One other thing that the pediatrician that we were going to at first said you know, get your baby outdoors.
Yeah.
You know, when your baby is outdoors, let them face outwards.
It's something about the what do you call it? Perspective,
Visual perspective, visual perception, whatever.
That.
Yeah.
I know,
as
like,
opposed to them looking at you all the time and feeling like, I need to see this, you know, to be okay. You face them out. You know, I had one of those, what do they call it?
The carrier.
The carriers that you strap on your shoulders and stuff like that. And when she was strong enough, when her back was strong enough, her neck was strong enough, everywhere we went, she was facing outward, right? So she was able to see the trees, the cars, you know, I believe that's also helped her in terms of independence. And meanwhile, we're continuing to read, you know, read books ever so often. And one other thing too that I really thought was that helped us was give your baby floor time, like lots of floor time, right? A lot of parents that we interact with, as soon as the baby makes a noise, they're picking up the baby. Or you have a whole bunch of family members that want to pick up the baby. You know, let the family members know, you know, we want this baby to grow up to be really strong, or whatever the case may be, and, you know, develop their sense of independence, their sense of, you know, moving towards objects and stuff like that. And Jaya had a lot of floor time, and you know, by 9.5, 10 months, you know, she was taking her first steps. So those are some of the things that we've done so far. And now she is, you know, 12 months. She had a vocabulary where, you know, she was able to say mommy, daddy, if not before that.
Yeah.
And you know, 15 months, she was putting together 2 words.
Yeah.
And here we are now, 18 months plus, and she has.
We can decode her.
Yeah.
Her talk. I mean, it's not full sentences still, but she puts 3 things together, and we can figure out
what she wants.
What she wants.
Yes. No. Mommy. Daddy.
Applesauce. Yes.
Applesauce. Yeah. Like, she has her whole mouth full of. She has her own dictionary. And she knows what she likes. One other thing as well is, she listens to instructions. As parents, we kind of have to guide them, right? And one thing that my mother told me is, you know, you bring a child into this world either to add to this world, to have a positive impact, or a negative impact to the world. Like, that's literally, as parents, what we're doing. We're raising the future, right? As we all know. So, you know, give your babies directions at an early age. You know, by 15, 16 months. We were able to tell Jaya, sit down, go get this for me, go close the door, go move your shoes, go put your towel in the basket, you know, and she listens. And those are not, you know, we're not being bossy parents. We're teaching her how to receive, you know, instructions.
Yeah. And at this age, they like some sense of responsibility. They
Exactly.
want you to give them.
They want to do everything.
They want to do everything, and they want you to give them boundaries as well. So you have to tap into that when they're showing that they're ready to do something as simple as put their clothes and their dirty clothes in the hamper. Let them do that. Like, I know it is our job to protect, but you're monitoring your child, and let them do things that are within their scope of practice.
Yes.
I don't know.
Safely. for their age, you know.
Yeah.
And it's allowed Jaya to be very independent, strong, intelligent, and she absorbs everything, as most kids at this age do. You know, but as parents, one thing that I believe Jazzy and I have done is we've let Jaya be Jaya. Like, allow her to push the limits, right? Until she's about to go over that limit, you know, of safety, which is, you know, obviously the main thing. That's when you reel her back in just a little bit, and you say, okay, baby girl, don't be scared, you know, don't do this way or whatever. One thing that for me personally that I've had to kind of learn as a father, a new father, is, and she's a girl, you know, I've had to learn how to tone things down a little bit, you know, And that's something that I'm constantly working on. She is delicate. She's a female, and you don't want to, as protective as I am, and as what do you want to call it, babe? Stubborn? Am I stubborn? Strong-headed. All those words. Strong-willed. I have to be careful of how I deal with certain situations with her. So those, you know, it's a learning experience for us. It's a learning experience for the baby. But those are some of the things that we did from early on. And just allow that baby, you know, to be themselves. Let them explore. Allow them to explore. Let them see the world from a very early age. From a very, very early age. Don't keep them facing you all the time. You know, a lot of people look at us and they wonder, well, why did we allow Jaya to sleep in a room by herself at 6 weeks old? She's so young, you know. It also allows you as a parent to not lose a lot of sleep. You're able to sleep through the night at 6 months old, 8 months old. Hopefully it's not in your ear. And one other thing as well that we missed was a schedule, right? I believe that was in the book that you mentioned.
Yeah. And there's tons of books out there too. That was just the particular one that I was referred to, and people could speak on that it actually worked with them following it. And it even goes on, I don't know how far it goes, but I got the first book, and then, which I think is really all you need. It gives you a good foundation of how to carry a schedule through. And then obviously things kind of changed too once she started going to school or daycare. She was on that type of schedule, but I feel like that helped us having creating a schedule from young. It prepared her to be successful in daycare where there is a schedule. There's so many other kids and they've got to follow a schedule so they don't lose track. The school teachers don't lose track, so I feel like that helped her as well when she did have to go into daycare. There's something else I was going to say you were talking about, and then the bug flew on my face, and I don't.
Oh gosh, poor bug.
Oh well, I know.
Okay, but yeah, so those are the main things. You know, talk to your babies early, from the womb. Have
like
conversations. Yeah, like an adult. Have conversations with them. I used to watch TV with Jaya sometimes, you know, and just have conversations with them from early. They can hear you. They can hear you. And as humans, it is human nature to absorb. You absorb the information. So they're absorbing from the time they're in the womb, from the time all their senses are developing within the womb. They are absorbing all the habits, everything. So communicate with them often. That's one. Don't be scared to wean them off of sleeping in the same room as you. We are very, very familiar with a few of our friends that have 18-month and 2-year-olds sleeping in their bed with them. Even when Jaya gets in, you know, the big girl bed where it's not a crib anymore, and the baby or the child wants to come jump in the bed, we're not going to allow that, right?
Walk her back.
Yeah, we're going to walk her back, and you have to allow them to feel comfortable in their own space. So wean them off early. 6 weeks, I believe that's a good age.
Well, I would say that's probably going to depend on the child too, and the comfort level of the parent.
Of the parent, yes.
I think we were a little aggressive in that, I will say. It worked for us, but that just may not work for everybody.
Right, yeah. That's a good point. I believe in starting things earlier rather than sooner. And have the baby adapt to those things. So yes, it was aggressive. However, it worked out for us. You know, that's just my view. I like to, again, push it to the limits. If that didn't work, then we would have tried something else. But it worked for us. It's worked for our friends, Dan, Zito, and Kim. So, you know, we definitely recommend it. If you want to wait until 2 months, that's fine as well. Use your judgment, but you have to get that child out of the room so that they can develop their sense of independence. So that's one thing. So communication, allowing them to sleep alone. Floor time is big. Allow them to crawl when they're at that stage. Allow them to build their confidence. Allow them to chase after objects, pull up on chairs and stuff like that by themselves, and just make sure it's done safely. And then after that, you know, allow them to see outside. Let them see the outdoors. Let them see the outdoors. You know, if you're not driving on the interstate or the highway, you know, maybe wind the window down so that they can see outside and where you're driving by, buildings, cars, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. I think that was one thing I was going to say later on, or earlier on, excuse me, was I think us as women, we're kind of taught that you better not go anywhere while with that baby, you know, for months, right? But that's not necessarily healthy for
either
your sanity. Yeah. You know, the baby needs to hear these noises and start experiencing these new things. So get out within reason. Now, I'm not saying obviously go to Disney World or something crazy like that, but if you have a walkable neighborhood, go outside. Get some fresh air.
Take a trip to the park.
Take a trip to the park. You know, so.
And yeah, I definitely recommend that. You know, it's worked for Jasmine. You know, she was cooped up in the house, and you know, by maybe the same week that Jaya was born, the same week that Jaya was born, you were out. We were out.
We were out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we just went to like a mall or something like that just to stroll around and stretch a leg. So.
But like not on a Saturday. So like
right.
You know, the middle of the day where most people are at work. Yeah. It's less populated. So use your judgment when you do that. Yeah. But definitely get out and see some things. Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we've tried, and now Jaya, you know, she's getting into her shapes, her colors, her numbers. At 18 months old, she's able to match, and she's able to. She doesn't get all of them right, but she's very close. At 18 months, she's able to form sentences. She's able to give direction, receive direction. So she's doing very well, and those are just some of the things that we tried from a very, very early age that we believe has aided us as well as aided Jaya in terms of her development. So I believe that's all we have.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna go run around with Jaya. She's out, I can hear her. And yeah, have some family time. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, tell us what you think. Tell us some of your ideas. Tell us what you did.
Yeah, because I love hearing new ideas, especially when Jaya gets older and enters a new phase, like she's about to be 2. So any tips for 2-year-olds are greatly appreciated. Leave them in the comments below. Any resources, I love looking at those as well. And like you said, like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos from us. Bye.
See ya.